Good morning and welcome back to another episode of NexusCraft. Here with me, Blue64 of Blue Nexus Gaming. I am obviously sitting here at my kelp farm. Let me see about moving this over here. Let's see. We've got kelp, we've got some sand. I did actually go ahead with collecting a bunch of sand, and I think I finished off that section. I made a lightning rod. Should prove useful, or at the very least entertaining. That's where that little guy went. Okay, well, doesn't matter. He'll despawn. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, I have cleared out a lot of this section. There is that section over there where monsters can, end up inside and end up basically swimming to their deaths, like this salmon that should be around here somewhere. Oh, whoa, nope. Ow. Well, that'll teach me to go wandering into caves. Okay, let's go ahead and run our way back up this little water section here. We are technically in swim mode at the moment. Or we were, because I had opted to sprint. Yes, okay, well. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that this guy is about to try and take me on with his trident, and I kind of don't want him to at the moment. Need to move that out of the way. Okay. Okay, let's see what we've got down here. I do want their trident. Okay, I'm seeing a Nautilus shell was dropped. I don't think anything else was dropped. 2 rotten flesh and a Nautilus shell. Where's the rest? It didn't end up like in here or something, did it? This is a little cave system that I located around the time the recording stopped, I believe. Ah, there's the other zombie stuff. Still no trident, though. That's unfortunate. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. We have ourselves a bit of a schedule issue, as you may have noticed. YouTube is still being stubborn. YouTube is taking 24 plus hours to process 3 videos if I hadn't deleted the videos from my device, they would still be processing right now on YouTube. It is almost 3 in the morning. It's almost time for this episode to air. And I'm 5 minutes into the episode. Let's see. Oh, right. Nautilus shell. Double tap. There we go. Let's see here. We've got our farm. How's the farm doing? Farm looks good. We have the seaweed, or kelp, I mean. We have the kelp farm. Kelp farm appears to be doing well as well. Lots of kelp. Unfortunately, that does mean that all of these animations are being processed, blah, blah, blah. Very, very intensive, phone processing power and whatnot. I'm specifically trying to trample these blocks in order to create path blocks. Because I'm trying to create path blocks that will go around the outer edge of this moat. Without obviously cutting into the farm here. It goes out 2 on this side, 2 on this side. Yeah. It's looking good. It's looking real good. And this will turn into normal blocks once this wall gets filled in properly with sand. I kind of want to rush this section here. That should be more than enough to rush it. This is a good moment in time to mention that if you enjoy my content, then it does help me a lot if you leave a like on the video. It will also help if you subscribe to my channel. You'll be able to get notified of all of the different times when I upload videos, as well as possibly getting notified whenever I'm trying to fix my playlist's auto sort function, which I have found out is pretty much borked. The playlist has had apparently a few instances where the entire the entire episode had two sets of uploads for the day. And it's like, well, I didn't want to upload twice in one day. I wanted to upload my one series of videos that day, yes, but I didn't want to upload 2 sets of videos on the same time frames in the same day. that was not intended. Yet that has managed to happen repeatedly. Mostly due to the fact that I am just terrible at keeping track of time. I'm terrible at keeping track of what day it is. I'm terrible at keeping track of what hour it is. That's why I constantly check my clock. I don't really keep track of that type of stuff because what do I need to keep track of it for? Not in school. I'm not employed anywhere. I don't really need to visit the doctor regularly because I never get sick. What would I need to keep track of the time for? I don't. Therefore, I don't. I just don't keep track of time. As odd as that might be, there are people out there who just don't need to keep track of time. If I need to set an alarm for something, I will, but otherwise, I'm good on time. Currently going through, making sure that this entire section has its water situations sorted out, by ensuring that the kelp is fully grown before I go to harvest it. Then I will plant the kelp elsewhere in order to allow the kelp to continue doing its thing and growing and all that nice fancy stuff. But primarily, I just want to make sure that I can harvest down here without needing to worry about whether or not everything above me is in fact a proper water source block. Apologies for my hand getting in the way of the camera. I'm just trying to harvest everything efficiently here. Okay. And the reason why I wanted to harvest all of that was because I am trying to go around filling in the bottom of this pool. Over beside the barrels there seems to be more. There we go. Much better. Okay. I do plan for the eventuality of throwing all of this kelp into a furnace in order to allow the furnace to smelt up bunches and bunches of dried kelp. However, there is an alternative option that needs to be considered. I could manually fill up the overflow chests. Now, that doesn't sound like a very good option at first, until you really start to consider what that will cause to happen. As these overflow chests continue to fill up, they will inevitably start, overflowing. It's kind of what they do. Why do I have so little oxygen? I was on my last bubble of oxygen there. Now, before the zombies get out of control, oh yeah, I made picture frames for those top 3 sections as well, utilizing some of the leather which I had acquired from the llamas. But yeah, I could start filling up those chests up there in order to start forcing them to actually overflow. What that will cause is my my storage to start dumping the excessive amounts of kelp that it's getting into the smoker instead of dumping it into, for example, the overflow, really. Oh, really? Okay. Well, is this wall complete now? I believe this wall is complete. Let me see. Oh, that creeper blew up my chest plate. Well, I shall need another leather chest piece. However, the primary thing that I am in need of is more sand. I am going to be in need of a lot of sand. Especially since I need to actually raise this pumpkin by 1. In addition to all this other lovely, nifty stuff here. Let me just reserve those spaces real quick. Oops. Well, technically, it is properly placed. Okay, now I need to go over here because I need to place these in over here. And then I think I'm going to do the same thing I did on the south side that I will do over here. And that is, I will fill up the sand up to here, and then I will place a lantern up top where the sand is supposed to stop, because there's a lantern there. Now I need to grab more sand from my inventory. I also need to measure this out, make sure it was in fact 3. Yeah. And then I need to go to the surface and just start filling in sand. Okay. I now have one of the walls complete. And we can stand back a little, see how it looks. I might put one more lantern in the middle. I've not yet decided on that. Oh, come on, seriously? I think I will actually install... I think I'll actually install it diagonal. Therefore, I want to install it here. One, two, three. Now, the reason why I'm installing these extra lanterns is specifically because as the water, goes down, the water is actually very dense, therefore it blocks a lot of the light level. If I want to block as many spawns as possible, then I will want to prevent the water from causing issues through means such as putting a extra lantern in the midway point. Now that I have the extra lantern installed, I can very easily go about setting up the next wall. I don't have to worry about monsters, walking over, spawning on me, any of that nonsense. Instead, I can just go about setting up my various sections of kelp. And the kelp will then ensure that all of the sections of water in the area in which I am operating is actually water, as opposed to being a moving water or a riptide or a water current or something like that, whatever you want to call it. It will make sure that it's not, that it's not going to get in the way, basically. There's kelp over there. Okay, there we go. Now I can settle down on the bottom here, where I am able to very easily swap over to my sand. And then I can go through, plopping down all of this sand that I need in order to quickly and easily navigate this section of wall. Now I lay down a bit of a buffer barrier here. Now I get to map out where I want these extra lanterns. I should go ahead and surface for this part. Let my oxygen catch up. Now I want to equip some of my lanterns. I'm just going to place them in like this. If you count out the kelp, you'll notice that there is an actual pattern to how I'm placing these. It's not just random or, well, I guess it is staggered, technically, but it's not random. Now I can go through, just fill in all of this sand. Now I have 2 walls complete on this moat that I have. Complete with lots of lighting. Those are the only 2 walls that actually get lighting, because the other walls are not lined up with the pattern, because there's only 16 blocks per chunk. Therefore it is impossible to actually line up a proper pattern. I can go ahead and temporarily put away those in order to have kelp on my hotbar, my little tool belt, if you will. Then I can just go through, make sure all of the kelp is fully grown. If it's not fully grown, I can manually force it to grow through just attaching more kelp to it. Kelp on this game is kind of like lasagna. You put one kelp on top of another kelp and you still have only one kelp. Meanwhile, with lasagna, you put one lasagna on top of another lasagna and you still have just one lasagna. Thus, kelp in this game is kind of like lasagna. Yeah, you could see some of the sections there were actually being turned into source blocks of water because they had not fully updated the source blocks of water, or the running water, I should say, into water sources. The water sources were, well, the water sources are now in place because I forced it to fill in all of the different sections with water sources by, oh, I should go sleep. Before phantoms start spawning. I don't want phantoms spawning on me, they're annoying. Can I run? Or am I lagging too much? The drawback to having that massive kelp lake is that it generates ungodly amounts of lag. Especially while these are decently length in growth. The moat of kelp over here generates very, very large quantities of lag. The reason that these are going to end up getting dried out is because they're too far away from the water once I installed this sand. In case you were curious how that was going to work. Speaking of sand, I need to go ahead and start installing this sand. Because... oh, well, that's unfortunate. That was all the sand I had. Well, at least I know where I'm putting the next batch of sand that I acquire. I could go through and harvest all of this wheat. Don't really need to. I mean, I could. I don't need to, though. I think I will anyways. Yeah, you can really see the lag going to work here. You can see my hand moving, and you can see the crops totally not breaking. Yeah, see, even walking backwards, I missed a crop right there, and that's just not good. If I'm getting that much lag, yikes. I should note that I have not yet grabbed the latest Minecraft update. This is because I suspect that if I do grab it, that my whole situation with the furnaces will likely get fixed. I don't really want that. I want to keep my furnaces giving me tons and tons of experience because they're kind of my main source of experience at the moment. I kind of like to keep it that way. Therefore, I have not grabbed the latest update, but this is 1.17.0. Therefore, it is a official release. It's a stable build. It's just not the latest stable build. I know that they get all persnickety about that whenever you submit a bug report. However, I am decently sure that anytime I mention submitting a bug report, I'm decently sure that it's one that they might not have heard of. I have not gone on their, on their bug tracker and actually checked to, verify whether or not it's been reported before. However, some of these bugs I've never even heard of. Like, I keep up with YouTubers such as Silent Whisperer, where he has the Bug Rock of the Week episode. Very useful series because he keeps track of all of the different Minecraft bugs that he has located or heard about. Anything that he can really replicate, he will basically talk about. I don't think he has yet mentioned the furnace deleting experience if you're on mobile. Then again, he is not exactly equipped in order to discuss that specific bug because he plays on PC, whereas I actually play on my phone, as you can tell, because my thumb keeps getting in the way over here. This is the side that I'm on currently because, as it currently stands, I have to keep my phone plugged in because my phone has a low battery. The charger port is on that side of my phone, which you can note whenever I plug in my phone because it does that. I did just unplug my phone and plug it back in to force it to do that, by the way. Just to demonstrate. No other reason. Going on behind the map. There we go. Yeah, I have... I have been keeping track of certain situations as they, develop. I have tried to make sure to make note, at least mental note, of whenever I encounter something in Minecraft not behaving properly. For example, the furnace giving way too much experience. Especially since it's giving experience not scaled to the number of items smelted, nor is it giving experience scaled to the amount of time spent smelting. It's instead seemingly just giving tons of experience. Possibly someone might have set it to levels instead of experience. There is a difference between the two in Minecraft. If you have one level of experience, then you have a bunch of experience. If you have one experience, you don't have much experience. There is a very, very drastic difference. Additionally, I was also trying to think of how I can prevent mobs from jumping up on this barrel without restricting my access point from the top. The only thing I can think of is building walls, actually. Just straight up building walls. The problem with that plan is that I would need to use some sort of material to build the walls with. I have not planned that far in advance yet. Therefore, building walls like that is going to prove just a wee bit difficult. I could build the walls out of bales of hay. That's an option. Not the best option. Not my favorite option, that's for sure. But it's an option. It would be a good way of denoting that, here be farm type of situation. But that would require an absurd number of bales of hay. Oh, it looks like this recently harvested. Great. We can actually see that some of this stuff has very easily found its way filtering through, and just basically filling in all of the different, gaps, as it were. And then I'm able to retrieve this from down here, I can actually force this to continue filling up this overflow chest up here. Once this specific overflow chest is full, then it will become very easy to collect all of the different sections of kelp, because the kelp will basically be forced to not use the overflow chest. Yeah. Oh, I get to show you guys what I meant about the stairs that I had installed previously. We have, right here, a set of waterlogged stairs. These stairs are pushing water out in this direction across these pistons, because as the pistons fire, they will end up removing the present water source at that location. And then, oh, I saw that. Where you at? There you are. Come here. I see you looking at me. Yeah, you're taking fire damage now, ain't you? He is really hurting wherever he is. Unless he finds some water, which is going to hurt him further. Where'd he go? He scoffled. He buggered off. Oh, rude. I will call that Enderman Sir Robin, because he ran away. It's a Monty Python reference. Monty Python Quest for the Holy Grail. Brave Sir Robin ran away, bravely ran away. Yeah, that Enderman ran away. There's really no way for me to know where he ran to. He didn't seem to run in here, which is a shame, because that's the perfect place for him to go. Did he go in here, maybe? He doesn't fit in here. That's where one of my bedrooms used to be, as is that. Yeah, I don't see him anywhere. Figured maybe he teleported to the far side of the mountain? That doesn't seem to be the case. Huh. He just vanished. He was holding grass. Therefore, I don't know where he went. Ow. Oh well. Maybe it'll rain soon. Then he'll show up for sure. He doesn't seem to be in the horse pen. Or does he seem to be over here by this random chicken? Yeah, I don't see that Enderman anywheres. Gosh, I still remember when this thing used to be one massive cliff. Oh yeah, I still need to fill that in with smooth stone, don't I? Well, technically I need to fill it in with dirt, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but there is a lot of lag going on. For once, it has nothing to do with the animals present. Instead, the lag is actually being caused by this moat. This lovely swimming pool that I have here is causing very, very large quantities of lag. Yeah, I'll go ahead and harvest it. Sure. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through in order to harvest all of the kelp from this, basically this kelp farm that is my little lake here, my little pond. What I'm hoping to accomplish is I want enough kelp to actually fill up that storage chest for the kelp farm overflow. I want to fill up that overflow chest. In order to do that, I need absolutely absurd quantities of kelp. Fortunately, I have absolutely absurd quantities of kelp. It's currently growing in my little pond here. Also, I'm going to start taking damage from suffocation because my character has been underwater for far too long. However, I don't mind as long as I reach the surface in time. I have plenty of food, technically speaking. Yeah, you can see all of this kelp on the surface. All of this kelp is going straight into the overflow chest. Therefore, I will be able to start seeing a stronger return on investment for my kelp farm much sooner. Okay, let me just make sure that I go through gathering all of this. And if you're wondering why I know none of this kelp is going to sink to the bottom, that's actually a very simple answer. I did all 4 walls first, and then that combined with the infinite water source generation, which is created through just the default settings of Minecraft. But if you're wondering how it works, specifically anytime there are 2 water sources that are 1 block apart from each other, either diagonally or cardinally, the cardinal directions or diagonal directions both work. You are creating particle effects. Stop that. Okay, where was I? Anytime there are water sources either diagonal from each other or spaced 2 apart, basically, those water sources will fill in the area between them, allowing for infinite water. I am aware that some people prefer not to use the whole infinite water source trick. However, I personally don't mind it. I find it offers just a little bit more freedom as you continue to build. It actually forces you to think a little bit more, because you suddenly need to figure out where you want to put your infinite water source when you're building with water. Unlike where, for example, if I was to rebuild the kelp farm without infinite water sources, I would have to basically bucket out all of the water, and then I would have to, plant down all of the kelp that I wanted. In the new section, I would need to go through and, make sure that all of the water that I want to put down is in the proper position, and then I can grow the kelp and, all this lovely fun stuff. However, with the introduction of kelp, there is the fact of the matter that it is very easy to create more water sources. Therefore, you don't really need to actually think too much about, for example, what is it that is the major concern of of the current. Hold on. Let me finish getting this kelp out first. You're able to focus on what the best course of action currently is, basically. I kind of forgot what I was talking about. However, I remember it involved filling up this storage chest on my kelp farm with lots and lots of kelp. Therefore, I guess it was kind of important, but I don't remember what it was. Right. It was something about the reason why I want to fill up the storage chest full of kelp. Basically, hold on, let me take off this shirt real quick. I am sweating. The AC is set to 72 and I'm sweating. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Basically, the kelp will be harvested down here, flow up into these hoppers up here, and then it will try and flow into this storage chest. However, if that storage chest is full, as you can see, it will flow down into this storage chest, as well as this one. These two feed into one storage chest here, which then goes there, 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 and then into the smoker. If all of these 4 storage chests up here fill up, then the actual productivity of this system will become much more relevant and much more, much more profitable. That's the word. Because it will seem as though it just started outputting more kelp, when in actuality it's outputting roughly the same amount of kelp. It's just not able to fit it into these storage chests up here anymore. Once I get enough hoppers, I will be able to hook up this section in the same way. However, I don't currently have enough hoppers, therefore, yeah, these storage chests are just reserved. They're not actually full. If I wanted to, I could, collect all the kelp, chop them down. They're not even really all that full of kelp either. It's just one stack, 54 kelp. That's all that's in here. It's just, 2 barrels worth of kelp, or 1 double chest worth of kelp. The eventual plan is to have that just cascade down like a staircase, just a gentle slope all the way down. However, first I want to chunk align it. Therefore, I need to place it between that chunk border and that chunk border. I will need to shrink it just a little bit. One thing I did think that I could do with this, the copper lightning rod that I have, I went and crafted a lightning rod, is that I am able to attach this to somewhere that will trigger the redstone signal to fire this. That way, every time there's a lightning strike near this contraption, it is able to fire off the lightning. I don't really know where I want it. However, the observers up here are definitely going to cause a bit of an issue with the whole plan that I'm going with. Although I think I know of a good spot I can attach it to in order to fire off the whole contraption flawlessly. And that is, I can just place it up here. Alternatively, I could place it down near the ground over here, because this redstone dust over here actually touches the ground right there. Therefore, I might go for that instead. Oops. I did not mean to fall over here. I want to go back around. No, not place that. Give me that back. Okay. Here, I will go